Hello everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back to the One Man Low Council, and also welcome back to episode 261 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast, because yes, indeed, this show is uploaded as a podcast. Eventually, I was able to actually get all of the podcast episodes from the Good Morning Asgard podcast, from the Welcome to Asgard podcast, and also from the OMB Report live stream, all uploaded. And so that is all set and done. So if you've been waiting for the podcast editions of these shows because you've missed some, hey, they are now available for all of you. So welcome, everybody. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Lots of stuff going on. There's obviously a ton of Blu-ray deals still going on for anyone that has participated in Prime Day. Obviously, I know there's a lot of people who do not like Amazon, do not respect Amazon, and hey, more respect and power to you. However, there are still a lot of really good deals on Blu-ray and on 4K, and lots of box sets too. Just went back to Bluray.com, which is a great website in general to help track pricing on Blu-rays and 4Ks and things like that. And also for Prime Day is actually collecting all of the different deals that are going on. And so we'll talk about some of those deals, what they look like, and also whether or not there's anything worth grabbing. Before going any further, though, please be sure to smash that like button and light up that fire button if you're watching over on Odyssey. Hello, Tube, you currently watching over on Odyssey. We are multi-streaming all over the place tonight. We are streaming, of course, to DLive, to YouTube, to Odyssey, and to Twitter, Periscope, whatever it is now, because Periscope is technically dead, and yet somehow the signal's being sent somewhere. I don't know exactly how it all works, or if it's showing up anywhere, for that matter. But hey, it's still an option on Restream, and so therefore, there it is. Let's say hello to some people, though, who are in the chat before going any further into these stories. Some of them are too early for me to be able to actually highlight. But we got Snortopubus Cuber, who's a member on the channel, saying, hello, humans and other quitters. Thank you very much for being here. Tina B, doing her first live stream from the new Chromebook. Yes, indeed. The Empress of the Universe, Tina. We were able to get her and help her get a new Chromebook. So hopefully any issues that were there before are gone. I was able to look into it myself. It is a pretty legit model for a Chromebook. Especially, it's got good specs for the Chrome OS system. Wanted only the best for Tina B. So thank you very much. In the process of trying to also help out the other Valkyrie, Stephanie V, as well. But she's not a fan of Chrome OS, and so therefore Chromebooks are kind of off the table. But I have my eye on one that is possibly available on Costco, which is having its own sale and deal lasting beyond today. So that might be in the future as well. Anyway, I always want to show love to my Valks. And then she was listing off several things. So to remind everybody that, again, smash the like button. Also, if you have a comment or question at any point tonight on any platform, remember, at Odin, all platforms, at Odin. I've streamlined it. I've made it simpler. It helps get my attention. And that's if you want your comment read on stream. If you want your comment to be shown the attention that you think it deserves, at Odin. Or, of course, you can super chat or donate via Streamlabs, which is preferable because YouTube don't get none of it. And I saw someone mention, Josiah Rises. He tried once again to apply for monetization, was denied, and has not been told by an actual human person why that is the case. Has not had a human person actually reach out to him yet to talk to him, which is kind of odd because I was always under the, I'm forgetting the word that I'm supposed to be using here. That happens a lot on these streams. But I was always under the understanding that once you reached 100,000 subscribers that you got like a personal contact. Apparently that might not be the case. And it's not even just Josiah Rises, friend of the channel, member of Geeks and Gamers like I am, but also someone else I follow for everything I've ever researched for microphones, interfaces. There's this great YouTube channel called Podcastage. And the guy has a couple channels, and one of them is Bandrew Scott. And I think that's his name, Bandrew Scott. And that channel got nuked about 2 days ago. And that happened to be under the email that his main channel, Podcastage, which is still up, is attached to, meaning that he cannot upload to his main channel, which has not been given a strike or anything. And in fact, he has not been told by anyone exactly what he did wrong. He was able to get a human contact to say, oh yeah, it happened. You need to appeal it. You can't appeal again for 2 weeks. And we're not going to tell you what you did wrong. And this is the biggest problem with YouTube, and this is why I stream to 1,000 different platforms. One, to give y'all options for those that are sick and tired of YouTube's games, but then also, two, to say screw you to YouTube. That we can have communities and that we can exist off of this platform and do well off this platform. And I've said this a million times. If the majority of the people who watched me and supported me all decided, hey, we're moving to this platform, we're saying screw you, I'd be like, all right. But obviously I know that everyone is using different things. Not everyone likes Odyssey. Not everyone likes DLive. Obviously, not everyone likes YouTube. So I like to give people as many options as I possibly can. But I would say this. This is another reminder as to why, if someone does have a Streamlabs link, to use that whenever possible. Because YouTube takes 30% of every single super chat that anyone ever sends. And if you're sick and tired of YouTube's games, using those alternate links like Streamlabs donation links is one way to do it. It's also a great way to support non-monetized channels or demonetized channels, like as is the case with Josiah Rises. And I think he has a pretty good Patreon group as well that's helping to support him during that. Because obviously a lot of the income that he gets, I believe, is actually from YouTube. And it's just disgusting that they won't even give him the time of day. Lord knows tons of people have been trying their best to get into touch with them, have been tagging them and everything, but they don't seem to care. For some reason, they do not seem to care. All right. Let's say hello to some people because I can finally start to highlight some chats. We got the K-Man in the chat. What's going on, K-Man? How is it going, good sir? Glad to see you here. 13th Warrior in the chat. He is a member on the channel. Hail to you. Glad to see you here. We got Biffer the Hobbit in the chat saying hello to Tina. Hello, Biffer the Hobbit. We also have Jedi Knight, Lego, Darth Barbie fan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Golden Ration, welcome to the chat. Thank you for tagging me. We got one of the best names, and she's also a mod on the channel. Laura, Disney should have planned their Star Wars story. I like to add on the extra story there. Welcome back, Laura. Always great to have you here. Yeah, got some interesting Star Wars news from Leslie Headland, as I like to call her. If you've ever seen Blazing Saddles, you know exactly what I'm referencing. Leslie Headland, or as a lot of other people like to call her, former assistant to Harvey Weinstein, who apparently does not care about fans, does not care about anything but herself, which is kind of par for the course for modern day Hollywood, but hey, is what it is. We'll also be talking about another Disney issue, which is that apparently Snow White, once again, I'll say the name, once again, Snow White no longer has to be white. Snow White apparently no longer has to have fair skin. Skin as white as snow, in fact, is why she's called Snow White. But don't worry, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Soul Extraction, welcome back. Another member on the channel. Glad to have you here. Orange Eye Reviews in the chat, also a member, says, I did a video on the Snow White stuff. I feel like it may be reported sometime down the line because I gave honest thoughts and called for an MLK movie to be made with a white guy playing MLK. Well, that's not how it works, man, Orange Hat. Man with the orange hat. You know what? Maybe someone should play you and they're going to wear a blue hat. What do you guys say about that, orange hat? If someone with a blue hat decided to start uploading your channel, claiming to be Orange Hat Reviews, how would that make you feel? It's the same exact logic. It's the same exact logic, and it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense until you realize and recognize and remember exactly who we're dealing with here and that there's a pattern of behavior. Geeky Lizzie, what's going on, Geeky Lizzie? Welcome. Glad to see you in the chat, and thank you for being a member on the channel. I appreciate that. Geeky Lizzie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. Alrighty, let us see. Who else is in the chat? Who else is here? Oh man, we got Carrie, Banjo Sandwich Worthington. Great name. TVA Police needs to monitor Friday Night Tights. Yeah, I would imagine that a lot of us on Friday Night Tights, especially this week, it's always funny. We start out every show by saying nothing happened this week. Absolutely nothing happened this week. There's nothing in the news for us to talk about when there's just always so much stuff to talk about. Forever Sci-Fi, hail to you. Glad to see you here. CWD Trixie, what's going on? Welcome back to the chat. We got Rosie G12, who's a member. What's going on, Rosie? She says, hail Odin and chat. By the way, Rosie, I'm 30 minutes into The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and so far, enjoying it. So be on the lookout for a review sometime, maybe tomorrow, depending on Baby Thor. Obviously, his schedule has a huge impact on how much of a movie I'm able to watch. He doesn't like when even if he's like on my lap and we're watching it together, he's not at the point yet where he's like wanting to watch. One day he will be, though, and one day that dude will be the most well-versed kid in movies. And if I'm still watching one of the 100,000 movies in the Zatoichi franchise, then he'll be well-versed in Japanese cinema. Alice McCarthy, who is a member, says, howdy, Odin, how's it going, House Thor? 3 more days till IT training is done. Woo, I thought you were already done. I guess you finished all the work, and now like the official stuff's almost done, or you took the test or something? I know that you had already done something. James Dachier, welcome back to the chat. Thank you very much for being here. We got J-Rod the Beer Guru. What's going on? He's on over on D-Live. Unfortunately, Restream's system won't let me highlight any animations, unfortunately. But I see you over there, J-Rod. Thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate it. Thanatos Felicitas, what is going on? J-Rod's having a party over there on D-Live. I can see with all the gifs that he's posting. Oh man, yeah, Rosie G12. It's truly ridiculous that they're doing Josiah Rises dirty, really bad. Geeky Lizzie, thank you very much for liking and sharing the video, and that goes for everyone. Like and share. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe as well. It's well appreciated. Nathan Slay, what's going on, good sir? All right, Laura, one of my mods, says, after years of treating employees like they are disposable, apparently Amazon is running out of peeps who want to work there. Gotta love the free market. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like, hey, if you treat somebody like trash, eventually those people are no longer gonna want to feel like trash. Who would have thunk? What a concept. GMonkey76, hello YouTube family. Work computer won't do Odyssey, so here I am. Well, hey, that's why you have options, good sir. Gary Banjo Sandwich tagged and says, hi brother. Hi brother, up late enjoying some Odin time. Ooh, late in your part of the world, is it? Is it late in your part of the world? Tina, still trying to get the new keyboard, but hey, apparently her old computer didn't have backlit keys. So that feature alone makes me incredibly happy. And Tina, you're awesome. I hope you enjoy it. As Laura says, hail the new Chromebook. Yes, indeed. Hail the new Chromebook. And hopefully for Steph, we'll have a new PC for her soon as well. Holden Girl. Sounds a lot like Golden Girls. which is fantastic. Wonderful. JM Cruz, what's going on, man? My man, hope the Samurai Movies list is dwindling down and you're enjoying. Yes, absolutely I am. I was able to finish number 7 in the Zatoichi franchise today. I'm still a couple of movies behind in my official reviews, but hey. J-Rod the Beer Guru, there we go. I can highlight that comment. Hail to you. Thank you for showing all that love. Yes, 13th Warrior. Misapprehension. I figured that a lot of people would probably be putting some recommendations over there. New number 2, Dean Heiss. What's going on, dude? Yeah, Rumble has live streaming. I've never liked Rumble. I'm going to be honest. The only way to get access to live streaming on Rumble is you got to pay. You got to pay like $50 to $100 a month or something like that. And their monetization features still don't really work. So I gave up on Rumble a long time ago. If it works for you, it works for you. It's not for me. I'm more than happy to be on Odyssey. I know that Salty Cracker, though, has just been lighting up the alt text spaces, especially. Alrighty, let us see here. Alice McCarthy says Odin Tube. Yes. Laura says Salty Cracker's tearing it up on Odyssey, so it can be done. Absolutely, it can be. Speaking of which, Odyssey fam, what is going on? Let's see. The Whitefell DM says hello from the crew aboard the Odyssey for Q&A content systems overlays. Okay. I can't quite tell if that is a promo or not, but thank you for the 0.01. The lowest amount you can tip. I appreciate the tip nonetheless, man. Okay, man, what's going on? Glad to have you here. Dark Shadow Logan, Sword of Purpose Cuber over there. GMonkey76 is working on the phone for GMonkey76. Glad to hear it. So shout out to you good people over there. All right, before it escapes me, let's go ahead and dive into some of the deals currently going on right now. Of course, I have to re-put up the video. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's what it should look like. So here are some of the deals going on. Let me refresh this. Right now, you got the Marx Brothers Silver Screen collection. This bad boy is going to give you things like the Coconuts, Animal Crackers, Monkey Business, Horse Feathers, Duck Soup. $13 on Blu-ray right now. That's a pretty good deal. News of the World, that's the newer film with Tom Hanks, I think. That's already $14 on 4K. That's not a very good sign. Chernobyl on 4K, is that the series, or is that, look at that, $20 for Chernobyl. Was that a limited time series or something? I thought it was maybe a multi-season series, but I guess not. But anyway, Chernobyl, looks like the entire thing is available on 4K for $20 right now. Jurassic World, the 5-movie collection, $20 on Blu-ray. That's pretty good. E.T. on 4K. I mean, I already have it on 4K, but if you don't, it's a pretty good one to got. That's a pretty good one to got. $10. 4K right now. Dragonheart 5 movie collection. Never really seen that series before. John Hughes. This one always goes on sale, I feel. So for $10, you can get 3 different films. The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Weird Science. I have that collection. Good Blu-ray quality stuff there. But again, 3 movies for $10. Not a bad deal. Bourne Ultimate Collection. So if you want all the Bourne films. Big Lebowski. This is actually a pretty cool one right now. Big Lebowski on 4K right now, $10. That's pretty much the lowest that you typically will find for most 4Ks. And this one, I don't think came out that long ago. This is the 20th anniversary edition. And let's see here. So this one specifically came out in 2018. So pretty young in the life of a 4K disc, if I would say. We got Tina's favorite film, Parasite. Parasite, Tina's favorite movie. That's also available on 4K for $10 right now. I'll take that off the screen pretty quick. Probably one of the cheaper 4Ks, First Man. This is a movie where I'm a huge fan of Damien Chazelle. He's the one that did Whiplash. And I watched First Man, and it was actually really hard for me to get into it because there was a lot of shaky cam. It was very realistic. Not gonna lie, though, I'm kind of tempted to pick it up for $8 on 4K. I'm a collector, dude. So, you get the Cornetto trilogy on, is this Blu-ray? Yeah, Blu-ray for $12. So again, Cornetto trilogy. Pretty good trilogy there. Scarface, never been a fan of it myself because I can't understand half the words that are being said on screen by Al Pacino, but that is available on 4K for $10, so any fans of that. Promising Young Woman, I think that was a woke garbage movie, so I'll just skip over that. Already on sale, what do you know? Shrek 4 movie collection, $13.99. Smokey and the Bandit 3 movie Blu-ray collection right here, $10.99. That's pretty good. 007, the Daniel Craig collection. I think the entire James Bond collection was also on sale as well. So you get every single one of those. True Detective, the complete, was it second season? Oh, seasons 1 through 3 for $40. A bit high for me, but might be some fans of the films. Mamma Mia, 2 movies, $10. The Wire, I've heard good things about this show. $50 for the complete series on Blu-ray. For one of those shows, I feel like that's a lot more worth it. Wonder Woman, the complete series, $35 on Blu-ray. It's a pretty good deal for a TV show, older TV show there. This was an interesting one. For $21, you can get all 3 Bill and Ted's. I've actually never seen Bill and Ted Face the Music, the newer one, but I already have the other 2, so I would have no reason to get it. If I didn't, I think that would be a good reason. And Illumination presents 3 movie collection here. You get Despicable Me 2, and Despicable Me 3. The first one was fine. The first one was cute. It's about all I can say about that. All right, anyway, let's get back to the chat. Those are some of the deals going on right now. Again, probably the biggest deal, though, on 4K is that you can get the entire Lord of the Rings series, the theatrical and extended, all on 4K with digital code for like $60 right now. Probably one of the better deals, to be honest. Goblin Squatch, no, you did not miss it at all. Welcome here. Welcome back. He says, join the Patreon after having so much fun last time. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll have to definitely check that out to see if I need to add more people to the shoutouts at the end. Karatharpu is a member. Hail, Karatharp. Glad to have you back. Rosie G12 says, Odyssey is harder to use on iOS. For my iPhone, I haven't had too many issues, to be honest. But that's just been my own experience. Let's see. Golden Ration Tag says, let's get streaming on the website and get sued by Disney for copyright of Odin. I would love to find out a way to be able to stream directly to OMBReviews.com, but you would still have to use a service of some kind. Because even with the open broadcast, or I was going to say the open broadcast software, OBS, but even with an open source system like that, you still need to have like a video hosting platform to actually host the stream. I actually would love to do that. The other issue, too, is that you'd be able to probably get the stream to the website pretty easily. It would be a lot harder to get chat integration into the website. So for now, I'm very happy to go to other platforms instead. Nathan Slay says, Martin Scorsese on Marvel films, they're not cinema. Where Scorsese probably thinks of the Fast and Furious franchise, I hate them. They are abominations to cinema. Probably. Pre-hindsight, what's going on? Glad to see you here. We also have Matt317, Joey's movie blog. Thank you very much for being here. Robert Frey, what's going on? Just says, the Dome. Are you making fun of my bald head? How dare you? How dare you? Laura says, I did a little digging and found some creators with very low YouTube subs that are making bank on Patreon. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess there are just creators out there that are doing something right over on Patreon, I guess. I mean, it's one of those things where I would love to do more stuff for Patreon and Subscribestar members and everything, but every time I think about something to do, I always just ask the question, does anyone even want to see it? Because, for instance, we do the podcast, and yet I feel like very few people actually listen to the podcast. So, because I don't really get metrics on that since it's exclusive to Patreon and Subscribestar, and also to YouTube members at the Keeper of the Bifrost level and above. But, you know, it's stuff like that. It's just like, I would love to do more stuff, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know what people would want. But yeah, there are people who are doing incredibly well because they have a very active, you know, what my guess would be is that they have very low activity on their YouTube channel, but they have high activity on their Patreon channel, and so they're able to keep the Patrons they get, and I guess get recommendations from those people as well. Marby Dog, I heard the new title for the Snow White Redux is Snow Black and the 7 Ethnically Diverse Little People. We can't say that anymore. News flash, breaking news, everybody. That is now also deemed to be offensive. Leslie Headcase. I didn't say it. Blitamp73. Are you curious about Quentin Tarantino's novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood coming this weekend? I actually have not heard much about it, to be honest. Orange Review says, everyone call her Headland. I just call her the Jaw. Ooh. Oof. Oof. That's rough. That's rough right there. Snortapoofus says, stop confusing the SJWs with logic. It's a fair point. Thank you very much for the ice cream cone, Goblin Squatch. Since it's not on and from DLive, I will hold off the singing for now. But thank you for that super sticker. Very much appreciate it. I will fall a little bit more behind with super chats and things like that because I like to highlight them. So, Forever Sci-Fi, Disney's Snon White. Seriously, it's definitely not Snow White. It's definitely not logical. Orange Hat says, you mean my parody account, Blue Hat Reviews? That is a thing, you know. Fine. Then I take it back and I say Green Hat Reviews. How about that? Jam Cruz, these weirdos really love placing in stupidity wherever and whenever they can. It's getting irritating. I don't know why my mind immediately just went to whenever, we're meant to be together. That's exactly what's going on, though. Their stupidity exists whenever. Exactly. You're welcome, everybody. Kiki Lizzie, I missed you. Thank you very much for being here. Let us see. Bryant Barth says, if Disney was alive and found out of Snow White reboot, some people will not survive the week. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's kind of crazy to think the stuff that they're getting away with here, or trying to get away with. I don't know if this most recent one is going to fly. Goblin Squash says, I rewatched Last Action Hero a while ago. It was so much funnier than I remembered it being. Dude, that movie's solid. I saw that as an adult like 2 years ago, and I loved it. Actually, maybe even more than 2 years ago. That I think I watched even before I started doing YouTube, because it may have been 4 or 5. But it was because of John Flickinger, John the Flick Pick. Because every time he did his Blu-ray collection updates, he would get to that movie, he would talk about it, and I came to the point where I would it was like comfort food to me. So, not to sound weird at all, and I mean, I've said weirder things to John himself, but you know, I used to fall asleep to his Blu-ray collection updates, mostly because I'd be like, okay, I need to get this one, I need to get that one, I need to get this. And instead of just writing things down, I would try and just listen to it enough to be able to actually remember it. Anyway, Lakeland Dental Art says, hi there. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. Thursday the Warrior. Uh-oh. So, I'm falling behind in the chat. Chat's jumping on me, which doesn't happen very often unless there's a lot of activity. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. That is, y'all are just going too crazy. If actual historical people, Thursday the Warrior says, like Anne Boleyn, no longer need to be white, why would storybook characters need to be? Logic Man. Here's the thing that bothers me the most about all of it, though, is the fact that literally the character's name. Like, it's one thing to take other characters and change them and everything. Like, they already did that with Little Mermaid, a casting announcement, things like that. But when the character's name is literally Snow White, and the only reason why her name is Snow White, it's not because she was named at birth. Oh, we're going to name you Snow, and then our name is White, and so you're Snow White. No, it's a nickname that's given to her because her skin is fair and white as snow. Oh, my goodness gracious. Drives me nuts. Goblin Squatch says, Baby Odin is still at the bright colors are impressive stage. Pretty much. By the way, Laura, I know I had the comment highlighted, but then the chat jumped on me. And yes, there's apparently a really good documentary on Justice Thomas, who's on the Supreme Court right now on the Daily Wire. So definitely still on my list of things to check out. Alice McCarthy says, this week is filled with practice certification tests. So many tests, my brain hurts. Well, that's not very good. That's not very good at all. Rhaegar Targaryen, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Okay, I need to catch up with the chat, so I might have to start skipping some people, to be honest, so I might have to just go to the members instead. But Laura says, after 20 plus years working with a union, I can't imagine working for a company like Amazon with nobody looking out for safety, which is the major thing my union does. HR works for the company, not me. Yeah, absolutely. This is a name I have not seen in a long time. Lando Calrissian is back. Lando says, I'm a part of the Salty Army. Are you really? Orange Air Reviews. Just watched the new guy after 10 years. From the last time I saw it. Still hilarious. Nice. Let's see. Rosie 12 says, so glad you're watching Liberty Valance. Good commentary on Celebrity, but wait until you watch Yankee Doodle Dandy. Should be required viewing for all Americans from age 10 on. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's see. We got here. Jedi Knight says, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on Snow. Well, you see, it's not Snow Black, though. It's not. It's actually a Hispanic. Which is not the first time that this has been done to a character. They did it to Cinderella, actually, in Once Upon a Time, the show. Which is, the reason why that was problematic, too, was because they had already had someone cast as Cinderella. And so they decided to randomly cast somebody else. It was very, very weird. Gigi Lizzie says it was a limited series for Chernobyl. Okay, so hey, that seems like a pretty good deal there. We see the same thing also from Soul Extraction. Says that as well. Cool. Glad to see that. Stephanie B is in the chat. What's going on, Stephanie B? Hope you had a great weekend as well. Glad that you were able to make it. Let's see. Goblin Squatch says, John Hughes was a genius back in the 80s. Yes. Yes, indeed. By the way, if you're wondering why certain people are getting highlighted who are not putting out Odin, it's because they're members. And one perk of being a member is that you don't necessarily have to. Though I might miss it from time to time. And that is my mistake. Stephanie B, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We were talking about how we need to help get you that new laptop. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. James Dashi, I think your comment may have been skipped, so I'll go ahead and read it. Thank you very much for the dollar donation via Streamlabs saying, hey, Odin, are you going to watch or review the new Fast and Furious movie? I heard mixed things, and most fans have said it's the worst in the franchise. Yeah, especially after what John Cena has said in his fake apology to China and him throwing Taiwan under the bus. I'm like, I have very little interest in watching it. The movies have been crap since 7. And in my opinion, others say it's been crap the entire time. I think since 7, that 7's when it went downhill for me. So I don't really have plans to watch it, but who knows? If it's available on a streaming service and I can watch it from home, I might just to be able to actually review it. And I will give my as honest and as fair thoughts as I possibly can on it. Rusty Shackelford, yes, indeed. Welcome to the chat. Tina loves Parasite. Yes. Tina is very excited about Scarface on there. Very, very cool. Let's see. We got Lolly at River. Welcome to the chats. Nathan Slay says, Odin, when someone tries to mess around with the Big Lebowski 4K, careful, man. There's a brand new 4K right here. What? I'm very confused by that. Kid Cassidy, welcome. Glad to see you in the chat. Alrighty. Let us see. K-Man, what's going on, dude? He says, I love how because of Prime Day, the Back to the Future trilogy is $27.99 on Blu-ray, but $29.99 on 4K. Yeah, sometimes there's these really odd, weird deals that happen. But yeah, $30 for the entire Back to the Future trilogy on 4K, that is actually a really good deal. That's another one of their, like, ongoing deals, similar to the one for Lord of the Rings. Let's see. Bruce, what's going on? Better late than never, they say. Maybe. Goblin Squatch tagged and says, did you see the baby FNT drawing they showed last week? Your baby self was awesome. Dude, check out my thumbnails for my most recent Japanese cinema reviews. My most recent retro reviews. I've decided that every time I do a retro review, I'm going to use that little guy because there's just something anime about it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I adore it. And it is truly awesome. I contacted the artist to see if I could use it and if I could get like an actual like a PNG file for it and everything. And she was incredibly gracious and generous and was like, absolutely. And it happened, she got to me very, very quickly. So I was trying to pull up to see exactly, because she goes by, her Twitter handle is JJ0791. So go check her out on Twitter. If you are on Twitter, JJ0791, but she goes as the Banshee. So shout out to the Banshee for that. Let's over to Odyssey for a second. Thank you very much for the hyper chat train from Laura. It's a short story. Appreciate it. Says Odyssey makes it crazy easy to earn free crypto because they have an autoplay feature for their videos. I turn it on in the morning and let it play all day. Nice, Laura. Yeah, you get free crypto just by watching your content creators. And now there's an extension that you can build into Chrome, and I use Brave, and so it can use the Chrome extension store. And basically what it does, it just put in Odyssey, spelled like the site, Odyssee, and it'll be one of the first things that pops up. Basically, anytime you're on YouTube and if the video exists on Odyssey, it will bring you directly to the page. So let's say you're loading up a video on my channel and you forgot that I have an Odyssey account and you have this plugin turned on, it'll automatically redirect you to the Odyssey channel where you can watch it. I have that implemented so that way I know, one, which creators are on Odyssey, and also, two, to be able to support them on Odyssey in that way. All right. So those were the only people who had tagged me over there. So let's get back to the chat, as I don't want to fall too much further behind than I already am in the chat. All right, let's see. Goblin Squatch says, it was like Muppet Babies, but all FNT members. Oh, yeah, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I love it. And I'm going to try and find other ways to utilize it as well. Soul Assassin, welcome. Glad to have you here. Let's see. JM Cruz says, with all of what's happening now, do you think movies like The Dictator or The Interview would be a hit if it was made today? Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't even know if those films would even be made today, to be honest. And don't forget, The Interview was pulled from theaters. One of the only reasons why I bought The Interview on Blu-ray was because it is a part of cinematic history. Because literally the week or so before, it was either the week before or the week of the release of The Interview, the film with James Franco and others, they pulled it because of threats. North Korea made threats against the studio, and so they pulled it from theaters. It was crazy. Theaters. I believe it was the theater's decision. It was like AMC and Regal all came together and were like, we're not going to show the movie. And so instead they just put it out on, I think, Netflix in a last minute decision. It ended up being very popular on there. It was a funny movie, I guess. It was okay. But the only reason why I bought it was because of just the cinematic history that it made by being a movie that got canceled in a crazy way, got canceled by the media. Wayne Smith, welcome. Glad to have you here. Some people enjoyed my Shakira riff. You're welcome. Riff Magos, what's going on, dude? By the way, Riff Magos, since I don't know when it happens in the chat and I don't want to be too far behind on it, 11 minutes ago, thank you very much for donating via Streamlabs. Appreciate you donating via Streamlabs, man. Does mean a lot. And YouTube doesn't get a penny of it. Riffmago says, Hail Odin, and here we have Lumpy Headland putting a few more knives into our beloved Star Wars storyline and characters. How dare we? Exactly. How dare we want to have actually good stories and well-developed characters? How dare we? How dare we want that? It's ridiculous. But yes, Leslie Headland is definitely going to destroy whatever thing they're trying to put together with her story. It ain't gonna be good. But Riff Magos, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And I will get to, I know I had a super chat and a donation via Streamlabs, and I will get to those hopefully in the chat. If not, I will of course read those out. Ghislaine Leduc, what's going on? Glad to see you in the chat. Glad to see you in the chat. All right. Let us see. I always gotta make sure, because I have newer members, and I have some that are not members and are not tagging me. So that's why I'm always trying to make sure I'm not skipping anybody who's doing things the right way. Orange Eye Reviews, who is a member, says, Odin, why is your monochromatic chair behind you? Has it offended you? It's my old chair. It's been behind me for months now. It's just sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. It was causing me some back issues. And I just haven't figured out what to do with it yet, because it's not in good enough condition, I would say, to resell, or to even, I wouldn't even really give it away. But Hound 3000, welcome. Glad to see you here. Nathan Slay says, spoilers for people who want to watch Fast 9. I hear they finally did it. They finally went to space. Rosie G12 says, Justice Thomas's autobiography is excellent as well. He just seems like an incredibly interesting person. Like, he's someone that I would love to, like, pick. Like, if there's any, like, you know, there's like a few, you always ask the question, if there was anyone in the country or in the world that you could sit down and have a conversation with, I wouldn't say that he would be at the top of my list, but, like, I think that the conversation would be incredibly interesting. Hamilton Berger then says, maybe Snow White is Jaleel White from... Wait, Jaleel White, Urkel's cousin. Problem solved. Maybe. You know what? If they were to cast Jaleel White... if they were to cast... There's a lot of people that they could cast in a comedic way where it would be fine. But they're not doing that. Let us see. Yes, I see a lot of people who are fans of the Salty Nerd. Sorry, the Salty Cracker crew. By the way, I am a huge fan of the Salty Nerd podcast. Shout out to them. But also, shout out to Salty Cracker for sticking it to the man. Griffin Turbo, what is going on? Glad to see you here. Rusty Shackelford tagged and said, but Indiana Jones 4K set recently, Raiders of the Lost Ark looks pretty wonderful in 4K. Nice. The unfortunate thing, and main reason why I have no plans to upgrade that, is I already own all 3 Indiana Jones films on Blu-ray. And I'll leave it at that. I already own all 3 on Blu-ray. Kara Tharp says, Disney ruining Snow White, so not happy. Yeah, seriously. Like, if anyone ever said before that Disney was not trying to push an agenda, I would love to see them try and defend this. And in fact, with that being mentioned, let's go ahead and let's get that on the board. Really, I gotta recapture it. This is nonsense. How dare you? How dare you? Ah, that's right. I had to have it open for it to do it. There we go. And there's the Odyssey fam. What's going on, Odyssey fam? But yeah, let's go ahead and get to this story. So this comes from Variety. You can't make this up, folks. You can't make this up. This is how out of touch Disney is with mainstream audiences, with reality itself. Not to mention how this woman is also out of touch with reality as well. West Side Story star Rachel Zegler to lead Disney's Snow White remake. Whoever made that thumbnail, I'm sure, didn't notice any problems at all. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Oh, maybe the one who has fair skin, white as snow? Which is why she's called Snow White? But you're going to take a lead from West Side Story? Wait, aren't the people from West Side Story that she's a part of, aren't they the Puerto Ricans? Do they have skin white as snow? What? They don't? Huh, interesting. Rachel Zegler has been cast as Snow White, skin white as snow, in Disney's upcoming remake of the classic fairy tale. Zegler, who beat out many for the role, is poised for a major breakout. She's making her feature film debut. And they're putting her already they're making her Snow White, and she hasn't even done a major feature role yet. She's Maria in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. Not many people can say, I played Maria in West Side Story, and also will be playing Snow White. Shortly after the casting was announced, Zegler enthusiastically tweeted, I have manifested my entire life, I think. She also uploaded some other things that apparently she also deleted, but guess what? They've all been saved. Mark Webb is the one doing it, saying, whose credits include 500 Days of Summer and the Amazing Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield. Quite a stretch there. 500 Days of Summer, some of the best rom-com. I would consider one of the greatest rom-coms of all time. Amazing Spider-Man's with Andrew Garfield. I like Andrew Garfield just fine, but those movies were not very good. Is directing the movie. Production is still... on the still untitled film is expected to begin sometime in 2022. So I'm sure they'll try and justify it by like playing around with it a little bit. It says here, Rachel's extraordinary vocal abilities are just the beginning of her gifts. Her strength, intelligence, and optimism will become an integral part of rediscovering the joy in this classic Disney fairy tale. Skin white as snow. Oh, by the way, Rachel wants you to know that she has pronouns. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. But yeah. That is a thing. That is a thing. Apparently, character descriptions no longer matter either. Daniel Thorne over on Odyssey, what's going on? I want to make sure I hurry up through these. That way I can actually not fall too far behind. Matthew, what's going on? Says, I saw you retweeted Zachary Levi's tweet. Would he fall under the Colin Trevorrow camp you're talking about? Yes, absolutely. So even though he's not a director, he knows how to engage with fans. Absolutely, he knows how to engage with fans. And I think that it's incredibly important that we support people like that. And hey, that image looks fantastic, by the way. Anyone who's like, Odin, you're too negative. I'm usually positive if you actually watch my movie reviews. But anyway, I think it's incredibly important to point out the fact that the image from Shazam 2 looks fantastic. Every person in there looks great. Anyway, Riff Ma goes, I'd rather watch the original 1950s Fast and Furious. Yeah, I like the other ones, but... Chris Ellis, what's going on? Spent Father's Day at the local Value Cinema watching the original Top Gun with the family. Awesome experience. Well, Chris Ellis, thank you for being here. And nice. That's awesome. Griffin Turbo, hail to you. Daniel Thorne, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't blame you at all for that. 70B, what's going on? I saw your comment, and then it skipped on me because we're getting some crazy stuff. Not another dime. There we go. Thank you for that $5 super chat. It was a while ago, but I knew I'd probably get to it. Says, keep up the good work. Have some cheddar. Thank you for that cheddar, good sir. James Dachier says, thoughts on Dave Bautista as an actor. He's not very good. I mean, he's fine in Guardians of the Galaxy, but yeah. I think I'm getting rated because a lot of people are subscribing to the channel. I think Az sent some people over. So shout out to Az. Thank you very much for sending some people over. I'm sure now I'm going to fall even further behind in the chat, as I normally would, but... All right, Daniel Thorne says, Disney execs reportedly met with Olivia Rodrigo for the role of Snow White in Disney's live-action adaptation before casting Rachel Zegler. I don't know that person, but skin white as snow? I guess that description, that character description doesn't matter anymore? Like, it's one thing if you recast, like, Cinderella or someone like that. I think Tina had mentioned the Brandy Cinderella, which, you know, whatever. But again, Snow White, her literal name describes her appearance. I mean, even if you tried the hardest you could to defend other casting choices that have been made, and people try all the time to defend some of these things, there is no defense for Snow White. There is literally none. Because you don't get the name Snow White without skin as white as snow. It doesn't make any sense. It's breaking me. I've been broken by this. Oh, man. Alex McCarthy says, director for Fast 9 is the same one for Fast 3 through 6. He wasn't there for 7 or 8, so it could be better. Yeah, but apparently some people are saying it's not. Apparently some people are saying it's not. Daniel Thorne, thank you for being on DLive. But remember, at Odin at the beginning of your comment, if you want everything to be highlighted or to be a member on the channel. Thursday Warrior says, reading the book Hillbilly Elegy, then I might watch the movie. I watched the first 20 minutes and it was just so down. I was like, I don't think I can finish it. I don't think I can finish it. Alrighty. Let us see. Getting through these. Grims Smath, thank you very much for becoming a member at the Army of Asgard level. I appreciate you. Reed Palancia, there we go. Thank you very much for the $10 donation via Streamlabs, and thank you for donating via Streamlabs, because screw YouTube. He says, Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. Quote by Marilyn Monroe. The ugliness is so exposed, it pours out in everyday social media. No doubt about it. Reed Palancia, thank you always for your very incredible quotes that you always put in your messages, and also for your donations. I really do appreciate it, Reed. And thank you again for using Streamlabs, because screw YouTube. Giggy Lizzie, who is a member, says, I love the interview so much, I remember the threat. It was so crazy. It was so crazy, the threats that were going on. From an entire country's government. It's insane. It's totally insane. All right, one of the members, Goblin Squash, says, did you know Kim Jong-un's dad had one of the largest film collections in the world? Saw that on the special feature for Team America. I did not know that. There's a lot of things out there that are like fake. You know how people in North Korea believe that the leader holds like all these records and is the strongest person ever and all these other things. And Team America, I think, made the joke saying like he's never gone poo or anything like that. Like just so many great jokes that have happened from it. But I'm wondering if that's one that is actually true. It wouldn't surprise me. Geeky Lizzie says, F YouTube, Streamlabs is the way to go. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. He also says here, Leslie Headland make the She-Hulk look more like herself. Have you seen the new drawings? I didn't say that, YouTube. Bruce says, I just send cash. Yeah, seriously. He sent me a long distance $100 super chat. As well as a bunch of movies. Shout out to you, Bruce. Thank you for that again. Crisco612. By the way, I am so far behind in the chat, everybody. It's 7:39 in the chat that I'm putting up right now. It's 7:51 where I am, but that's why I have this ticker at the bottom. I usually fall 20 minutes behind, but thank you all for being here. Thanks to all the new subscribers. We're over 100 people. It's been a while since we've been over 100 people, so thank you very much for being here, dropping that like button. Yeah, we're talking about some stupid stuff going on right now with Disney. Obviously, you got the Leslie Headland situation, where she just doesn't care about fans, and even worse, you have a character in the person of Snow White, or a person, something like that. You have Snow White, whose literal description and name means skin is white and fair and white as snow, now being played by someone who is not. It's not how that works. But again, this to me is the equivalent of, well, you know how people always joke around saying, well, you know, why not cast Black Panther? Why not cast a white guy as Black Panther? This is the equivalent. Because the excuse given to all the other race swaps that have ever happened have always been, yeah, but it's, it's a fake character, and oh, well, they're Superman, oh, he's an alien, oh, blah, 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 blah. They're literally, there's nothing you can do with this one. There's nothing you can do. Unless you change her name completely and give her the same storyline and then try and say, hey, ignore the fact that we're totally just ripping off Snow White, but not calling her Snow White because we can't call her Snow White because it's calling too much attention to the fact that this is bogus. Legland Dental Art says, the new costume for Supergirl for the Flash movie looks awful. It makes her look like she has ringworms on her ad. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing for that. I don't know if that's like they were trying to have that for like post-production to put abs there or something. Yeah, it looks awful. And someone put a side-by-side of her in the costume and then her in real life. And it's like, she's a beautiful woman. She is a beautiful woman. Why are you doing this to her? It's like, what are you thinking? But that's the thing, is that they're not thinking at all. They're not thinking at all. Let's see. What do you think of the OG Halloween? That's pretty solid. I think I would say it's pretty solid. Let's see. Riff Mago's a member says the only good thing about the Acolyte is the Critical Drinkers review. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's definitely going to be something to look forward to for sure. Keck44, welcome. Alrighty then, getting on through here. Laura says, the mother-in-law wanted to see Queen Bees this weekend. Ended up being a cute story about people who marry later in life. Christopher Lloyd guest starred. Nice. Very cool. I always like those nice little movies where no one talks about, but it's just a nice experience. Thank you for that, Laura. I think we all needed that a little bit. Wayne Smith said, dude, watched A Field in England today. Loved it. Have you seen it? A Field, or is it The Field? Or no, it's called A Field. Oh, no, sorry. I read that wrong. Watched A Field in England. That's the name of the movie. No, I've never even heard of that. Hellrats96 says, Az sent me. Well, thank you, Az, very much for sending some people over. Again, smash that like button, people, please. Goblin Squatch as a member says, did you ever see Young Indiana Jones Chronicles with River Phoenix back in the day? Chronicles? No. I know that he played young Indiana Jones in the film, but yes, Dean Heiss. Dean Heiss on DLive has it. Hashtag Duck Visney, for sure. Rhaegar Targaryen says, speaking of West Side Story stars, do you remember a controversy with West Side Story as well? Yeah. Remember how everyone freaked out when the woman playing Maria in West Side Story, the original, was a white woman? So it's okay from one direction. Okay, I got it. See, I needed to know the rules so that I could play the game. So the rule is, okay, you can only race swap one way. You can't race swap the other way. It's not allowed. Thank you for explaining those rules to me. I appreciate it. Laura says, just got a notification that a new Suicide Squad trailer is out. Yeah, I watched it. And the CGI still does not look good. And I don't know what the feel of the film is going to be. So, who knows? Because I certainly don't know what kind of film it's going to be or whether it's going to be good or not. No idea. Not Another Dime, thank you for being a member, says, my small amount of OCD finds Odin's room problematic. Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. But hey, I don't hide from it. At least I don't hide from it. Gerald, thank you very much. Again, shout out to Az. Boom, look at this. So many people showing up from Az. Thank you very much. Sending them all. Fat-headed Druid, welcome. Darth, what is this? Darth Starweaver, thank you very much. Az, shout out to Heels versus Babyface. Heel versus Babyface, shout out to you, Az, my Friday Night Tights brother. And welcome to the One Man Low Council, everybody. Also known as the Welcome to Asgard podcast. All right, let's see. Lakeland tagged and says, I guess they'll have to cancel the mirror for encouraging white privilege in the previous film. Probably. Tactical is practical. Welcome. Welcome. Blasul, thank you very much. Aw, Az, you didn't have to do this. You're so nice. The green laser, thank you very much. Yeah, smash that like button, please. Thank you. Thank you very much, people. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hyde, what's going on, says, Az sent us after inviting all 1,000 viewers to get on a stream with him. Wait a minute. Az did not put out a StreamYard or link to... Oh, wow. That must have been insanity. That must have been a lot of fun. I have to see the replay of that. Brian Dobransky, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here, man. All right, there's a warrior who's a member, says, I'm not that bothered by the Snow White remake. My parents didn't take me to see it in the theaters when I was a wee lad. They thought the evil witch would give me nightmares. Star Wars doesn't exist. Snow White doesn't exist for me. Thursday's Warrior, I feel like it, again, even at the most basic level, it should bother you. Because her literal name is Snow White. And it's a description of her white skin. Like, I just... I just can't. I can't. It's breaking me. Tina says, we've got people coming over from... Yes, I don't worry. I got it. I was able to pick it up pretty quickly. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate y'all coming over. Just Another Red Shirt. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you for being here. Let's see. Goblin Squatch says, have you ever heard of the Hays Code before? It was the first censorship ever applied to film back in the 1930s. It was over gangster films and murders happening in Hollywood. Yes, I've heard of the Hays Code before. don't think it was spelled that way, but yes, I've heard of the Hays Code. And I will say that the code of the 1950s, actually, no, that it may have even been the Hays Code. It actually led to some of the greatest films ever made. So even though obviously it was a level of censorship, it did also lead to a lot more creative thinking from the writers and creators in Hollywood, because they couldn't just rely on violence. They couldn't just rely on, these really cheap ways of presenting stories. Simon, welcome. Alrighty. He accidentally he accidentally shared the StreamYards. That's awesome. Oh man, I love that. He's hilarious. Manowar, what's going on? Hail to you. JM Cruz, Snow White is Snow Unwhite. Seriously, are they going to change the film Snow Not So White? Snow Not So White? Goblin Squatch says, skin as beige as sand. That's definitely one way to put it. Blake St. Clair, welcome. Glad to see you here. Scaff, what's going on? When am I finally getting a haircut? What do you mean a haircut? What do you mean? Thank you for being here. F Generic Shooters, thank you for being in the chat. Robot Vulcan, welcome. Oh man, so many people. Welcome, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Thursday the Warrior says, perhaps in the new movie, the appellation Snow White was meant ironically. I don't know how it was meant, but it's definitely something. Welcome. Alrighty. Let us see. Bryant Barr, thanks for tagging, said, how do you think Disney will react to these remakes and all other stuff in Disney and Iger and Chapek? How do you think Disney will react? What? That question doesn't make any sense. Are you asking for my opinion of how a dead man will respond? I don't quite understand the question there. Hardwick says, nowadays the red in Red Sonja and the white in Snow White apparently mean nothing. Exactly. Seriously. The things going on to redheads especially is just sad. Redheads have been hit harder than anyone else in all of this. Not Another Dime says, I would donate on Streamlabs but cannot remain anonymous. Not Another Dime, yeah, you can. When you enter in your donation, you can put in whatever name you want, and that's the name that'll pop up on the screen. If you're concerned about donating via PayPal and that having your real information in there, that doesn't show up on the pop-up, and I never reveal private information. So if that's something you're worried about, I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not. Snoop, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Let's see. Hardwick says, are you familiar with the character Trader Sam from Disney's Jungle Cruise Ride? It's currently being speculated that he's being gender swapped in the movie. I'm not as familiar with it because I never did the Jungle Cruise because I'm much more of a roller coaster thrill seeker. And so that one always was like, oh, whatever. But obviously I'm not okay with them changing things for the sake of political nonsense. So I know that Drunk 3PO has been covering that a lot on Park Hoppin', but yeah. All right, let's see. Brian says, when will it swing back to being normal, where entertainment is just there to be entertaining? Here's the thing. I remember for years now, Gary over on Nerdrotic has said that this always comes in waves. I think he said that it usually comes in like 5-year waves where it gets really bad and we're getting to like the really, really like difficult part, but that eventually it will get better. But honestly, I look around and I don't see it getting better at this point. I hate to be so bleak with it, but I look around and I see the fact that you have these crazy woke people in all of the positions of power. They are in control of Hollywood. They are in control of education. And it's education especially that is the most concerning, because they are able to mold and craft the minds of kids from pre-K all the way through college and brainwash them to accept things like critical race theory, etc. And it's that brainwashing that leads to people saying, a Latino person or a Latina or Latinx, which most people don't even accept or acknowledge. The fact that people will look to that and say, I don't see a problem with this. Or even worse, it's about time. Oh yeah, it's about time a non-white person play a character whose name is literally Snow White because her skin is as white as snow. And as I saw someone put in the chat, agreed. That's why you do see a huge increase in homeschooling. There is a huge increase in homeschooling. But is it going to be enough? And how quickly can it happen? I don't know. And I mentioned this before. As a Catholic teacher myself, my job is very much on the line every single year. Because all it takes is for someone in a position of political power to label the church, Christians in general, as a hate group, cut funding, even worse, say, we deny you certification as a school. Then what do we do? So yeah, I have a very bleak outlook when it comes to that kind of stuff, to be perfectly honest. I really do. All right. Let us see. Christopher Lloyd is the best Lloyd. It's true, though. Tina says, Cameron Pasha said the reason why they're uglifying beautiful minority women, a new Supergirl Rose Tico, just stresses the bigotry and racism in Hollywood. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a fair point to be made there, for sure. Snort Pupa says, I suspect that these less than attractive Hollywood weird types love to make a good-looking person look as ugly as they do. It could be. It could be the reason. It could be the reason why they're doing it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it definitely would make sense. It definitely would make sense, that's for sure. By the way, again, smash that like button, please. It does mean a lot. Frunk. That's a great name. Yes, indeed. Bruce tagged and says, Odin, they will change the line to heart as pure snow. Dude, Bruce, you are probably totally spot on there. You are probably spot on. They will change the line. The fact that they've said there's no title to this yet tells me they're going to play around with something to try and make it as ridiculous as possible, to try and justify it however they possibly can. They will do whatever they possibly can to do that. All right, jumping over to Odyssey for a second, because I do multi-stream to multiple platforms, everybody. So I am currently also live on Odyssey as well. And unfortunately, I can't highlight those comments yet. But hopefully, Odyssey is going to take the opportunities of people being canceled on YouTube to really step up their game. Megazord Jeremy, welcome. Says here, I wonder what Michael Eisern thinks of current Disney under Bob Iger. I think you were trying to say a different name there. Okay. Megazord Jeremy, I always appreciate you being here, man, but tonight is not the night for the long rants. Sorry, dude. I do appreciate you though. Thank you very much for the super chat. Grinsmath, thank you very much. FNT is pizza night because of you. Dang right. I mean, I feel like it's been pizza night for a long time, but I'm very glad that my eating of pizza has definitely caught on. And one of my favorite things is every Friday I get tagged in so many photos on Twitter of people with their pizzas, getting their food ready, things like that. And I love it. And I mentioned this earlier. If you check out the thumbnails from my recent retro reviews of samurai Japanese cinema, you'll see in the corner there was this amazing image done by the Banshee, is how she goes by as her art name. And I love it so much. And it's me sitting cross-legged with the the horn helmet on, the beard, eating a piece of pizza. It's awesome. I love it. Boom. There it is right there. Dude, J-Rod the Beer Guru, thank you very much for the Ninja Genie, man, over on D-Live. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome. And also, I think Ninja Genies normally have messages attached to them. So let me pull up D-Live real quick because, and again, this is something that I'm learning on the go, really, is what gets shown through this program and what doesn't. Because I want to make sure that if you have a message attached to that Ninja Genie, you get the proper love that you deserve, good sir. All right, let's go to my channel, and let's pause it. All right, Captain J. the Bio Groove for the Ninja Genie says, speaking of your room, here is some Space Force bucks for some wall decorations. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, J. Rod the Beer Guru. Thank you so much, man. And yes. I have stuff that I can put up on my walls too, but I just, yeah, I'm kind of lazy. I'm going to be honest. I'm just kind of lazy. It's just the way it is sometimes. Like I have a bunch of Blu-rays that I still need to put away in my shelf. John Flickinger gave me a bunch of display posters that I can put up in the room. I've got tons of movie posters, like just regular movie posters from when I worked at the theater that I had always wanted to put up. And yeah, I mean, if you just look behind me, you realize, oh, there's a lot of there's a lot of issues going on. Let's see. Hardwick says, Scarlett Johansson said that she found she was portrayed in Iron Man 2 flattering at the time, but has come to see it as demeaning due to being 35 and a mother. Do you buy her explanation? Well, that's the thing, is if you read the entire interview in context, I definitely feel like she's playing both sides. I think that she is trying to... One, she's being fielded a question by some hacks over at Collider who are trying to get her to say things that they can use for a headline and for things that they can use to push agendas. I mean, that's the one thing we need to call out first off is Collider's full of a bunch of hacks who are going to try and get any actor to go down a certain path in an interview, which they initially may not have wanted to go down in the first place. So it's one of those yes and no that I think that she is trying to toe a line. However, in trying to toe the line, what she is doing is basically calling into question anyone that is drawn to how the character used to be portrayed and saying that there's something wrong with the person who's drawn to that, or any newer film that comes out that portrays someone in the same way as well. So I don't know. I think it's yes and no. Thursday Warrior says, you're treading on dangerous territory. Richard Dawkins was canceled because he pointed out that identifying as a different race was not allowed while identifying as a different gender was okay. And yeah, it doesn't make any sense. 0 sense at all. Because we're talking about two things that are very much based in genetics, in DNA. And yet it's okay to do one, but not the other. It's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Rosie212 says, is it Snow White a Grimm Brothers story even before stupid Disney? I feel like a lot of the stories that they borrowed, in some cases they even stole, were either from Grimm stories or from other similar folklore. Let's see. Nathan Slay says, if you do pass away soon to Disney's breaking you, we shall never forgive them ever. I'm not going to be that cryptic, but I appreciate it. Laura says, gotta drive home. See you guys Saturday. Laura, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you, as always. This is just funny. Snow Off-White. Now, if they were to name the film Snow Off-White, I might actually go see it. Just to be like, methinks there might be something afoot here. If they're embracing it that much. Goblin Squatch says, no, sometimes restrictions inspire artists to get more creative. Absolutely. Dean Heiss, the new number 2, says, in regards to the new Spider-Girl costume and look, much of the Hollywood thinks that the only way to show strong female characters is to make them look like dudes. If I was a woman, I'd be offended. Yeah, it is interesting how you see this double standard being played where there are a lot of women who say, I shouldn't have to become like a man. Men should have to become more like me, more like a woman. But then in Hollywood, they are showing that in order to portray a woman as strong, they have to basically strip everything away that makes them feminine. It's completely counterintuitive. No doubt about it. Completely counterintuitive. Hardwick says, the new Sony Cinderella movie will also have a Latina Cinderella played by Camila Cabello. Yeah, and here's the thing, is that I still have an issue because there is definitely some swapping going on there. The difference, though, is that in my head, I can see a Hispanic Cinderella working based on just the basic elements of the story. I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but at least it can make sense. I go back to the fact you can't do that with Snow White. You can't explain that one away. There's no way to do it. There's just no way. Hyde 1352. Thank you very much for tagging, saying the Snow White movie will show the Queen was being repressed by Snow's white comfort. Yes. I'm sure that they will, if they're going to cast someone who is supposed to be Snow White, who does not have skin as white as snow, and also has pronouns in the bio, not even pronouns in the bio, pronouns in Twitter handle, they're probably going to have some political elements to their story. If I had to take a guess, probably. All right. Keely Chow, welcome. Glad to see you here. Bryant Barth says, my apologies, Walt Disney. And again, it still does not make sense because I don't know what a dead man would think about anything. The old adage is always he's rolling in his grave or she's rolling in her grave. But it was an odd question, good sir. Keely Chow, how's it going? Welcome. Kika Rogers tagged and says, FYI, redheads bruise easily. It's science. Well, they have very fair skin. You know what's the weird thing that I'm just now making the connection with? They've been going after redheads for ages now. Snow White, skin as white as snow. She's not a redhead. However, redheads do have fair skin. I smell a conspiracy. And the conspiracy, of course, is if you have white skin, you can't exist. Which is kind of scary when you think about it. Hardwick says, in the 1940s, there were a pretty ist cartoon called Coal Black and the Seven Dwarves. It looks like things might soon be coming full circle now. Well, also, too, think about how there was Amos and Andy. Before the TV show, which was actually revolutionary as far as black actors are concerned, the original radio program was voiced by two white voice actors. So that was something that happened all the time. The Physics Channel with Kenny Lee. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Alrighty. Rosie G12 says, Odin crazy woke people is redundant. I know, but it has to be said. Darn it, it has to be said. Alrighty, let us see. All the new subscribers, thank you very much again. And again, shout out to Heels versus Babyface, as thank you so much, dude, for sending people over. And to the people who got sent over, thank y'all for sticking around. It's been a lot of fun. Still got 95 people watching. We used to always have that number. And then we lost some people along the way, but that's okay. It happens. Roger H, thank you for the super sticker thumbs up, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let us see what is going on. But I've always said I always appreciate having the smaller community here. Let's see if there's anything going on over on the Odyssey Cham. Let's see. FH Druid says, switched over to Odyssey for the stream. YouTube is so icky. Yeah, FH Druid, thank you for switching over, man. I appreciate it. Make sure you light up that fire button if you're watching on Odyssey. I appreciate it. Remember, if you have a comment or question on Odyssey that you want read aloud, please put @Odin at the beginning of the comment. But please keep it relevant And if you can keep it short and to the point, more importantly, that'd be great. Thank you. All right, let's see. Because I'm so far behind. It's 8:06 in the chat. It's 8:18 where I am. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Soul Assassin says, there is a bright spot for education. Multiple states had banned CTR in schools. Texas was the first to do it. Yes, this is very, very much a good thing. There's a lot of things that Texas is doing and other states are doing that the governors are actually stepping up and doing something about it. The terrifying thing is, though, it does not take much for the federal government to seize control and power. And that is what I am afraid of. I'm afraid of, especially when you have a 50-50 split in the Senate, things getting pushed through. Shoved through. Forced through is probably better terminology there. And a Supreme Court that may not have a backbone. Now, there's been some recent rulings made by the Supreme Court that does give me some hope. However, I'm not going to put my trust into them. If there's anyone not to put trust into, it's anyone in the government. Do not trust politicians. Do not trust judges. Hardwick says, I recently watched videos on YouTube comparing screenshots from the Blu-rays and 4Ks of Indiana Jones movies. The 4Ks are so much better that it's night and day, especially the color grading. Well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because typically you find, for the most part, not always, the one major exception to 4Ks being better is Terminator 2, because James Cameron played with the colors, which is not that surprising because he's James Cameron. But typically 4Ks are just going to be better because you're going to have a 4K scan of the original 35 millimeter film negative. And so you're going to be able to get so much more clarity because people forget just how much information can be held in the actual film negative. It's one of the reasons why it makes me very sad that we've moved away from traditional film and why I thoroughly enjoy filmmakers like Christopher Nolan or Tarantino, who are a lot more likely to use original film stock. Elizabeth Lyons, driving home from South Carolina. Well, drive safe, Elizabeth. Thank you very much for listening in today. I appreciate it. Robot Vulcan is excited. Odyssey for the win. Absolutely, dude. I am all about that. I'm all about Odyssey. I try and push as many people to Odyssey as I can, but obviously I don't want to force anyone over there because it is still very much a young platform. Let's see. J-Rod the Beer Guru says, YouTube is trash, and that is why I stay on DLive. J-Rod, dude, and that is why I will continue to stream on DLive, and thank you very much for always being incredibly supportive, always sending the Ninja Guineas and everything. Thirsty the Warrior says, I hear there are plans to change Underdog to Undercat. Again, it would be the same logic. It's just as logical to cast a cat as Underdog as it is to cast anyone that does not have fair white skin as Snow White. Again, you can at least make an argument. Not a very good one, I think, but you can at least make an argument for other characters who are traditionally, you always hear, well, they're traditionally this, or they're usually this, but that's not the rule. Okay. Let's assume that we'll accept that. Doesn't work here. Can't work here. Name is literally Snow White. And I know I keep bringing that up, but it's a pretty important point. And as I said, it's kind of breaking me in that way. Robot Vulcan, your stance on fruit as a pizza topping? No. The only fruit, because it is technically, not technically, it is a fruit, is obviously in the sauce. In the sauce, as they say. But as far as the actual toppings itself, pineapple on pizza is anathema. Pineapple on pizza is evil. I actually did a community poll on this very question, and the majority of people said that pineapple on pizza is the devil. And I hold to that. It's one of my many tenets. Hardwick says, I've thought for years that the best casting choice for a live-action Snow White is Rachel Weisz. She's a little too old for it at this point, though. That's the thing, though. If they wanted to, and here's the thing with Disney, they're so out of ideas. And this goes for Hollywood in general. They're so out of ideas. that they're just regurgitating the same thing over and over again. Imagine that, Hardwick. If Rachel Weisz got cast as an older Snow White, something that's not been covered as much. I mean, I don't know of any movies that have covered later years Snow White. But even though that's still not quite enough for me, because I want Hollywood to make new original characters, at the very least, they would be doing something different. And yeah, Rachel Weisz, I think, would do a great job. I think she has that look, for sure. But yeah, there's nothing to say that she couldn't do an older Snow White character. In fact, I'd rather them scrap this whole movie with non-white Snow White and do a new story on older Snow White with Rachel Weisz. That, to me, is a winning combination. And also, it makes sense. And also, it makes complete sense. Yes, I am live on Odyssey now. OMB Reviews. But when I created the channel originally, I was still going by Odin's movie blog. So when you put in OMB Reviews, it should still show up there. But if it doesn't, put Odin's movie blog at Odin's movie blog, all one word. Let us see. Let's see. J-Rod says, sometimes trash is something you have to deal. I also use Minds and BitChute. Dude, I also use Minds. So I like Minds because it's a social media network, and also you can upload videos. And in fact, my videos upload so much quicker and process so much quicker on Minds. So typically, if you want access, if you like my reviews, if you like my content as far as the actual videos are concerned, follow me on Minds because you'll probably get it faster than you would. I have everything backed up on Odyssey, but sometimes in some days, Odyssey takes forever to process. But again, I know that they are dealing with a lot of people moving over to their platform, and so I'm very willing to give them a lot of benefit of the doubt. Or not just benefit of the doubt, but more leeway because of that very reason. All right, let's see what's going on over on Odyssey. What's up? Megazord Jeremy, hey, I do it because you put a lot of things in there that are just very random, and there's a lot, especially during streams like this. You know, if it was a morning stream, I probably would still read through it, but I'm already really far behind in the regular chat as well, and I see Dino Thunder Rangers, and I'm like, no, that you're making jokes. So sorry. FH Druid says, anything that teaches something other than equality to children is in itself racist by definition. Our kids should not be exposed to the poison of CRT. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Completely accurate. Completely true. And it was disturbing because I've seen at least one student in the last several years as a teacher reading books with titles like White Fragility and things like that. So it's making its way down. Even to like the private school system where it's not really as indoctrinated as it is in other parts of the world, or other parts of the country really as well. It is crazy though. It really is. And I'm so glad that a lot of states are stepping up to it, but is it going to be enough? I don't know. Man Radio though, thank you for being on Odyssey. Robot Vulcan. Boom. There you go. You found it. Appreciate it. Light up that fire button if you're watching on Odyssey. I really do appreciate it. And I got about 3 minutes left. I typically go until 8:30 Eastern time, so I will do the very best that I can to catch up with these last comments. And so basically, I'll be going into members only mode as far as which comments I read. So if you tagged me, again, I'm at around 8:14 in the chat. So if you've tagged me in the last 10 minutes or so, you might have a comment skipped. And it's just because I like to end around 8:30. And again, if you are watching now, if you could just slow down on any comments or tags or anything like that, I would really appreciate it because I like to be able to spend a little time with the wife before we go to bed. So we watch TV together, and she's at work all day. I'm stay-at-home dad during the summer, and so it's just nice to have some QT time. Harwick says, River Phoenix only played Young Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Young Indy and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles was played by Corey Carrier and Sean Patrick Flannery. I don't know who said it otherwise. Weren't you the one that said? I'm confused now. I always need context. Always need context. It's a very important thing, especially when I read all the comments, or most of them. JM Cruz, thank you very much, man, for being here. Appreciate it. But sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm in members only mode. Hardwick says, Anatomy of Murder was one of the movies that led to the Hays Code losing its teeth and eventually being destroyed. Some of the subject matter and language is shocking for a 1959 movie. Yeah, Anatomy of Murder, it's actually, Columbia is doing its second edition of a 4K set. Hopefully, I put in a request to get it sent. Hopefully I get it because I would love to review it. But that's one of the films that's in the 4K set. That I imagine that's going to be beautiful on 4K. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Alrighty then. Making my way downtown through the chat. Elizabeth Lyon says, Hail Odin, I'm glad I got to catch you today. Thank you for catching. Thank you. Appreciate it. These are, someone mentioned the dice. These are Han Solo's dice. Someone, it's been so long now, I forgot who sent it, but one person was in the chat and said, hey, I actually have an extra pair of the dice that is featured in the Millennium Falcon. Would you like it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So, yeah, Han Solo's dice. Camden Heiss over on D-Live. Thank you for the ice cream donation. I know that people on the D-Live fam love, because I do sing when ice creams are donated over on D-Live. Hardwick, putting Aaron Kellyman in just about everything might be Hollywood's passive-aggressive response in ginger-side complaints. You say you want redheads, huh? Oh, well, we'll give you redhead. Oh, is that Enfys Nest? I think that's the actress that plays Enfys Nest. Yeah, it's like, nah, not really the same thing. Not really the same thing. Daniel Thorne on D-Live. Thank you very much for the ice cream. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the OMB Report is another channel that I have that is also on Odyssey as well. Brightburn, love you, man. J-Rod the Beer Guru, thank you very much for the diamond donation and for the ice cream donation as well, and for the lemon donation. Crazy stuff going on D-Live right now. And I assume that means I think diamonds can have questions attached to them as well. Yes. Captain J-Rod the Beer Guru says, D-Live forever? You mean, am I going to always stream to D-Live? Yes. I have no plans on giving up the D-Live stream. No plans on giving up the D-Live stream. So, and that's one of the reasons why I like using the chat feature that I'm using to put the chats on screen, because it allows me to put D-Live chats up. The only issue is it won't allow me to put chats that have GIFs, and it won't for some reason pick up the messages that are in Diamond and Up donations. Let's see. Goblin Squatch, as a member, says, am I the only one that wishes there was a completed Trank cut of Phantom 4 Stick? I thought his plan sounded so cool compared to what the studio did. Yeah, he kind of went, like, the studio definitely was overly involved, but he went off the edge. He went off the deep end a little bit from what I can remember. It's been a long time. But, man, Fan 4 Stick, man, I tell you. That movie. I wanted to like it. I really did. But it is what it is. Grimsmath, thank you very much for becoming a new member on the channel. Appreciate it. Says, Hollyweird can't make new stuff because they would be canceled for exposing the human condition with any kind of compelling story. I think there's a lot of truth to that, for sure. Because if they were to tell any good new original story, they would expose themselves as being hacks. Because one, they probably wouldn't be able to do it. And two, if they would be able to do it, it would immediately get attacked by the woke mob they try to always placate to, because they would soon realize, oh, you can't actually tell good original stories with all of the nonsense that people want in said stories. No one wants to see those stories. No one's going to go see those movies. But if we take an established franchise like Snow White and then decide to put in our ideology into it, hey, some people are going to be tricked into watching it because it happens to be named after a major IP. So, Orange Hat Reviews. I believe there's a reason there are no older Snow White movies. Altiori did a video theory that sort of makes sense, where she is actually dead, hence going to a castle in the sky. Interesting. J-Rod, the beer guru on D-Live. I gotta respectfully disagree with you. Pineapple and ham and jalapeno pizza is very tasty. No, J-Rod, you're wrong. J-Rod, you're wrong. I'm sorry. You're wrong, man. Terrible impression. But anyway, J-Rod, you're wrong. Daniel Thorne says, there's no excuse. There are multiple books of Latin American folk tales to put Rachel Zegler into. They refused or ignored that. Exactly. Or guess what? They could also make a brand new original story featuring her. Because this is not a commentary on whether she can act or not. No one knows if she can act. She hasn't even been in a feature film yet. She's set to come out in that movie this year, which is West Side Story, which no one asked anyone to remake, and yet for some reason Steven Spielberg, who used to be an incredible filmmaker, decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remake West Side Story. Gosh, it's ridiculous. Goblin Squatch, CRT is poison on every level. I agree. Absolutely is. Downright evil. Thank you very much for stopping by, man. Hope you had fun. Hope all the new people had some fun today. Appreciate y'all. All right. K-Man, who's a member, says, I think Eiffel 65 needs to go back to their blue ba da dee video and make the aliens in it green or purple, even though they are a blue guy that lives in a blue world and everything he sees is just blue. Oh my gosh, someone needs to take the blue video and be like, this is offensive today. Because that's the world we're living in. That is the world that we are living in today. Why are they all blue? Why aren't there any green aliens? Why aren't there any red aliens? This is offensive. Hardwick says, I saw a meme that said BBC announces new remake of 101 Dalmatians and had a picture of a black Labrador retriever. Boom. That's a great meme. That is a great meme because it is highly accurate. Orange Hat, did he have those dice before Disney or after Disney? These were after, unfortunately. I've only been streaming for 3 years, so it would have to be after. I don't know if the person who gave it to me had them beforehand or after. But they were like, hey, do you want it? I'm like, yeah, sure. Daniel Thorne, yes. D-Love. Tactical is practical. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Says, why do they keep doing these cringe changes to classics? It will end up like Star Wars. Shaking my head, yeah. And that is something that just never makes any sense. Because they see, or should see, the writing on the wall that when they do this, they're not getting a new audience. And if they are getting a new audience, they are shedding so many of their old audience that it's not worth it. And what we've seen, and I've been doing this on my box office breakdowns, Warner Brothers, Disney, they have had almost every film they have released since pandemic started back in March of last year has lost money. In fact, Disney, I don't think, has made a single film that has made money. Warner Brothers finally had a movie that actually made money and profit, but it's not nearly going to be enough to make up for the losses that they've had anywhere else. So we already are seeing these studios making these massive movies and Disney losing all of it, or losing the vast majority of it. And then you also have these different elements in Hollywood that are trying to just regurgitate that nonsense into all of these different movies. And they don't care that they're losing money. That's the thing, is that somehow, some way, they're able to convince their shareholders. Disney stock is so artificially high, it's insane. That stock price should not be as high as it is. And especially, go ahead, go to my website, ombReviews.com, go to my box office tracking and look at every title that was listed that's a Disney title. And you're going to be like, what? How in the world are they justifying any of this? Because I'm not just talking about like a couple $1 million. I'm talking about like a couple of films where like $100 million plus in the red. Daniel Thorne, Mandarin Origins on pizza. No! Evil! It's evil. How dare you? How dare you? Super, what's going on? We are ending things. J-Rod the Beer Guru. With your denouncement of pineapple on pizza, are you a part of CIA's Operation Mockingbird? What? That doesn't even make sense. I meant, did Solo have them in the original trilogy? Oh. Yeah, he did. He did have them in the original trilogy because in the movie Solo, which was trash, hashtag Solo lost money, they tried to make an entire thing about it. So basically they took all of these like things that were very small but hardcore fans noticed and cared about and then tried to make them into something more than what they should have, about like where the dice came from, where did his name come from, things that people didn't care about. And so, yeah. But yeah, they existed beforehand. I talked about that earlier. Yeah, not really a thing. I think Orange Hat Reviews was asking whether Han Solo first had the dice before or after Disney. The answer is that he first had them in the original 1977 movie. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to say. But we do need to end the show, so let me just skip through, make sure there's no other ones. There, Daniel Thorne says tomorrow's National Detroit-style Pizza Day, so your meal's already planned. Well, I'm having pizza on Friday, so there is that. Anyway, thank you all very much for being here today. This has been a lot of fun. Let me just double check and make sure everything is all nice and good over on Odyssey. Odyssey fam, thank y'all very much again for supporting the show. Please light up that fire button. It really does mean a lot. And Megazord Jeremy, sorry, dude, if you were offended by anything that I said, but again, it's a bit much sometimes, man. It's a bit much. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love the support. But my brain can only handle so much. Is the best way I can put it. FH Droid, dude, thank you very much, man, for watching Odyssey. And for everyone else watching Odyssey, I'm gonna go ahead and close that window. D-Laugh fam will have a chest opening on the channel today. But before I do that, I do need to shout some people out. First off, shout out to the Valks. Seriously, Tina and Steph, they are freaking amazing people. So glad we were able to, using money that we get from the channel, I was able to help get Tina a new Chromebook, and also in the process of trying to do the same for Steph as well. She is not a Chrome OS user, so we're trying to get her a laptop, and so I think there's one that's at Costco that we're looking at. But before I go anywhere else, I can't do that there. Okay, where can I do this? This is what happens when I have too many tabs open. All right, let me go ahead, because one of the perks of being a member at the Army of Asgard level and above is that you get shouted out at the end of every live stream. And by the way, holy crap, thank you to all the new subscribers. My channel's kind of been in this weird period for a long time. Az, dude, thank you so much. And to everyone who came over from the Az stream, seriously, thank you very much for subscribing. And also for engaging in the chat, because that I think has been the most fun. Because as I always try and say, numbers are great and everything, but to me, it's the quality of the people. And I think the quality of the Asgardian community is higher than most others where you have a lot more people. And a big part of that, of course, is Tina and Steph. They are the ones who lay down the law. They are the ones that engage with every person that I cannot engage with. When someone doesn't know how to contact me or anything like that, they're the ones that let people know. And it's awesome. So Tina, hope everything was going well from the new Chromebook tonight. But anyway, a huge shout out to Grimm's Math, Galvin Squatch, Riff Magos, Wicked Plumber, Mr. Buttcrack Media, Sean McD, Gomer Kyle 79, Your Muslim Uncle, Kara Tharp, Eric Jewett, Rich the Savior, Dadman Walking 55, M. Tack Shark, Forever Sci-Fi, Rosie G12, Andrew Hoyle, Eric K, Orange Hat Reviews, Adam Avery, Jay Stowe, and Aiden Vickery. You are all my Army of Asgard level and above members here on YouTube. So thank you very much for that love and that support. And also a shout out to Harold Francis, who I have not been able yet to add to the Patreon Subscribe Star shout out at the end of the video. So a shout out to you, good sir. Very much appreciate your love and your support. And again, gotta shout out the Valks one more time. Tina says, boom, the Chromebook is doing great, she says. So again, thank you very much, Asgardian community. It's from Patreon members, Subscribestar members, YouTube members, donations from Streamlabs, everywhere. Those are what allow me to be able to do giveaways for Patreon and Subscribestar members, able to do giveaways from time to time on the main channel too for the main show, and also for me to be able to take care of my mods when they need stuff. So seriously, thank you very much. Very, very much. I do have an email address. I just saw someone mention odinsmovieblog@gmail.com. Also, I have a website as well, ombReviews.com, and there's plenty of different links there. If you want to follow me on any of the platforms, I've got a couple different shows that are happening over the summer. I have a Good Morning Asgard podcast, which is exclusive to Odyssey, and I've just opened it up now also to YouTube members. So that is every morning starting around 9 a.m. Eastern time. So again, that is now open up to YouTube members as well, because I wanted to do something extra special for them. But it also is on Odyssey, and my focus is on the Odyssey chat. So again, if you are an Odyssey lover, be ready for that tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then also on Thursday mornings, I do the OMB Report Live, where we focus more so on politics, news, religion, actual cultural issues, things like that. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting to y'all, again, OMB Reviews is the best place to find the official schedule and also links to the various channels as well. Anyway, you guys have been fantastic. D-Live fam, y'all stick around. It's been a while since I've been able to do a chest opening up over there. If you've been on D-Live, you know what that means. And if you don't, you're like, what in the world are you talking about? Anyway, that is going to be a wrap for me. Thank you all so very much again to the 70 people still watching. You guys are amazing on YouTube, D-Live, Odyssey fam. I don't know if anyone's watching on Periscope or not. Again, because Periscope's kind of dead, but it's still like Twitter video. I don't quite know. But anyway, love you guys from the bottom of my heart. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. And as always, God bless. Now for a huge shout out to all of my June Patreon and Subscribestar members: Andrew Hoyle, Biffer the Hobbit, Brian P., Dion, Don Bruno de la Mancha, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Carney, Laura the Modern Major General's Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Riff Magos, Rosetta Ullen, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, and rather Teresa Martin is Miss Martin Muses now, Tina Bojan, Tina B., and Washington Madranda. Thank y'all very much for being my supporters on Patreon. And to my Subscribestar peeps, Fast Reaction, Nosferatu Gatsu, Stand For, John B., Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss / The New Number 2, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nevanon G. Adams, and ZK Man. Thank you all very much for being my Subscribestar members, and if you want your name shouted out at the end of every video and live stream, please consider joining on Patreon or Subscribestar. You also get access at other tiers to things like a bi-monthly podcast, bi-weekly, twice a month podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger, which is a lot of fun. There's also a tier in which you can join me once a month for the Chosen of Valhalla live stream, where you all get to, at that level, join me for discussions, talk about any projects that you might be working on, or just hang out and have a good time. It's a lot of fun. And also, too, for many of those levels, you also get access to a giveaway section on the Discord server, where you get access to giveaways of things like 4K movies, digital codes, and tons of other stuff like that. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, check out the links in the description and sign up over on Patreon and Subscribestar. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.